The first time I saw your abuela, I didn't know what to say, yeah. Just knew I couldn't miss my chance. No way. I never saw.
So Pacemaker started with a very small idea. My father-in-law had one pacemaker already and needed another one. Before he had each pacemaker, he would get really, really tired and kind of grumpy. And then once the pacemaker went in, it was almost like all the oxygen came back, and it was like he was open to new ideas and open to learning again. That little spark started, and then my son Toby came out as trans about a year and a half ago, so right before we started doing this. And there was this idea of a grandfather and a grandson who was transitioning, trying to gain his hero's acceptance.
Hey, Granddad.
Becca! There's my girl. You ready for the championship game this weekend?
You know I am. And it's Cody, remember?
Oh, right.
Animation tends to be very childish or interpreted as childish, and I think that having stories that are authentic and real, that show the true family fracture and come back together, it's very important.
The motivation to just make this is for that, to have that communication between the different generations, different mentalities, and allowed young people to just be able to express themselves and learn about what they really want, and for us to listen.
I think the storyboard process, that's always the first time you really get into the material at an intimate level. That was fun. I mean, trying to find interesting visual storytelling tools, because it's animation, right? You can do anything in animation, and why not try?
When it came to developing a unique look for the film, I worked really closely with Izzy, the art director, and the rest of the ARC team to create something that felt handmade and cinematic that could really help bring the viewer into the world of the film.
It's not just any other film that we're making. There's been so much time and love put into the DNA of the film, and we all kind of feel personally vested in it in some way. When we started a running commentary, it was really key for us to make sure that every project had a kind of bespoke team that we'd bring together for each of the projects. And I think the same goes for the process and the way that we go about making it to deliver something we're all proud of.
We've all brought a little bit to every single character in the film.
We brought pictures from our abuelas, we brought wedding gowns, we were looking, mantillas, there was so much that was research behind that. That was really cool.
That little bit of detail, the more feminine detail of the laciness could be something that's in her dress that also echoes the more masculine stripes of Granddad's sweater.
I think this is a project that is really driven by a passion to tell a really touching story, but is also a film that is looking at inclusivity across animation, and that's something that we've really fostered and harvested in terms of how we recruited the team and to make sure that authentic voices are telling the story.
When Ben and Alex asked me to work on the project, they were like, I think you would be perfect for this project, and I was like, I think you're right, because so much of it resonates with me on a very personal level. But I think as a queer person, there's really this very specific thing about working on a project like that, where you feel represented and you feel kind of heard, and you feel like you can add something to this project.
I think it's an important message that speaks to me is your time with your loved ones is so limited. On a personal level, I never got to come out to my grandparents, so there's definitely a kind of a fantasy element on it to me, where it's you waste so much time putting up boundaries between people in your family, and yeah, I think that's something that really speaks to me about the film.
I'd never done a musical. It was interesting in a lot of ways, but it was also, I think the bigger picture was the passion and what he really wanted to express with the film. I saw this guy really pouring his heart out for this idea that he really believed in and wanting to sort of give to his family as a tribute. And I felt like, how could you not want to be a part of that? And then also, it's great music. When I heard the song, I was like, this is fun. This is really fun.
Instead of starting a dia dia da dia
Yeah.
should all be da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I let the rhythm move me. Then I asked her for one dance. And then she stole my heart.
It's been really fun to get to put this thing together over the past year, and have the characters come to life with Phil Lawrence and Alex Newell sort of bringing Cody and Granddad to life.
They got me singing some real high notes. They better be glad I like them.
It's been inside you all along. Is that the right note?
Recorded Alex in New York.
I was
recorded
such a
Phil in
big
Los
fan
Angeles.
of Alex. Like, oh man.
Alex has a Tony nomination.
I'm not sure that I can do it. You make it look like there's nothing to it. It's not as simple as it seems.
Pay attention now. We just took a shot at glory, and then we wrote.
This movie needed to be joyous. Granddad's love for Abuela was joyous, and Granddad's love and understanding of Cody becomes joyous once he realizes that truth. And I think if this movie can really be the story that sort of inspires everyone to find their own joy, and that's quite honestly what musicals do best.
Yeah.
They can take it beyond reality and relate to people in a way that honestly can inspire joy for everybody.
Rhythm of my heart.